Hello and welcome to this new hands-on lesson. In this lesson, we will try to send some logs to our syslog connector, one that we registered with the ArcSight ESM in the previous hands-on lessons. Currently, there shouldn't be any logs except the native logs of this smart connector. So if we create channel with filter, this is a right-click option. When you right-click any smart connector in the tree, it creates an untitled active channel on the fly. And here the progress for the active channel loading the events. And an active channel is actually a way of viewing the logs received by this smart connector or even the native logs generated by the smart connector itself. So it has a title here, untitled active channel filter applied automatically as soon as we right click and select the create channel with filter option. And the filter here is the agent ID. Agent ID is a field a field in the ArcSight schema that represent the ID of the smart connector resource created here or registered to that ESM. And we have start time, end time, and some inline filters, some other things that we will come across later in coming videos. So priority breakdown, and we can see only native events coming from the auditing for that connector itself. So if we double click here, the inspect function of the inspect edit panel will come, and more details about these events are coming in this window. So what we need to do now is to ingest or send some logs to these smart connectors. So I have here one FortiGate that I will log in and try to send some logs. So I will go to the log and report. For sure, you are not supposed to do this yourself at the customer site. You are not FortiGate expert, you are ArcSight expert doing implementation. So you will ask the administrator or the responsible person for the FortiGate to do this for you. You may share with him some the configuration for the FortiGate for enabling the syslog, and actually he should find this in the knowledge base of Fortinet. But ArcSight has a nice thing called configuration guide for each smart connector type and for each vendor that we need to integrate to ArcSight. This you can find from the MicroFocus community. The MicroFocus community, the documentation section, the connector section, you will find the different configuration guides for every kind of smart connector. So I will try to show you here. If you go to if you type just MicroFocus ArcSight connector documentation, if you go here, you will find a lot of configuration guides. See the last version of the smart connector 7.12. So if we go here, you can download this zip file, which is very big file, around, I don't know exactly, but if you download it, I will save it on my desktop. It's around 62 meg. It's not a big deal. So once you download this, you will find all the PDFs or a lot of PDFs configuration guides for with a nice HTML index to just find the configuration guide that you are looking for. So these guides include steps, high-level steps for assisting the subject matter expert for each technology on how to configure his technology to send the logs in the right format to ArcSight. Okay, So I'll not go through this, but I just wanted to let you know from where you get the configuration guide. So returning back here, some technologies like the FortiGate, the steps are straightforward. It's not big deal. So you just here in the log settings under log and report, the UI is simple, as you can see. You put the IP for the machine itself. That you remember this machine that we have the. By the way, this machine is the same. This machine is hosting the smart connector, and at the same time is the one generating the logs because it's sitting behind the FortiGate. So I'll show you the IP for that machine. It's 192.168.5.10, and the gateway is 5.30, which is the FortiGate itself. So this machine is sitting behind the FortiGate. So if we go to internet, Google, whatever, it should generate logs on the FortiGate. Okay, so in the same time it's hosting the smart connector, so the FortiGate is sending back the logs to the smart connector on that machine. So anyway, we need to send the logs to this IP 5.10, and to watch this netstat minus an to know which port it's listening on. Find string 51. It's listening on port 515. Okay. So going back to the FortiGate, so 192.168.5.5.10, and then apply. If you go here, we should get some logs. But one point that if you move from the log here to the top header here, you change from an arrow to a hand. So this means it's a hyperlink. If you click here, this the edit function of the inspect edit means that come into action means that here is the configuration of the active channel. So you can change the name. We can make it syslog live. We can change the time frame, and the most important thing here I wanted to point out the time parameters. So by default, evaluate once at a touch time. So these times are updated once at the attach time of the channel, or the generation time of the channel, and it kept like this. It stayed like this. If you want to make it a sliding window, you have to change this to continuously evaluate. Okay, and also the times should be variables, not static times. So ArcSight has variables called now, today. If you just see the drop down menu options, you have now, today, current week. This is a nice way to get variables and get the dynamic window. Okay, so we selected continuously evaluate, and we have the timestamp, manager receipt time, and end time. And the difference is that end time means this is a time where when the event was originated on the device, while manager receipt time is the time when the log received by the manager. So there might be differences. Ideally, they should be the same, or very slight difference, like 1 second, not more than 1-2 seconds. But if there are differences, there should be a reason. The reason may be because you are sending this on batch jobs, not real time, or there is some timestamp for any difference between the two devices. So the NTP is not in sync. You have to look after this, because the time synchronization is very important for the investigations and the chronological order of events inside the SIEM solution. So for our purpose now, we need the continuous evaluate apply. So any new events, we see the times are updated, the channel is reloading and it's retrieving events. So now if any events, new events coming to the connector, it should be displayed. But again, we are not seeing anything. So it seems that we have a problem and we need to look after this. To troubleshoot this, you have to work closely and collaborate with the subject matter expert of the log source. In our case, it's a FortiGate subject matter expert. So you tell him, I'm not receiving the logs. You may start at the host, the server or the workstation hosting the SmartConnector and make Wireshark, install Wireshark, or make TCP dump to see if the logs are coming. But before doing this action, we need to make sure the syslog is leaving the log source itself. So I will act here like the FortiGate subject matter expert and will open the FortiGate here, and I will try to see what's going on. So I will make sniffer. This is outside the scope of the course. I'm just trying to give you intuition on how to think or troubleshoot scenario like this, because big part of any ArcSight project is the log integration. So you don't sit on the chair and waiting for all the subject matter experts in the organization or at the customer side to do the work, and you wait for them to send you the logs, because eventually you need the job to be done. So you have to work closely with them. I'm not telling you to save this syntax for FortiGate or to be an expert in every technology, but you have to lead the project. You have to tell him, please do sniffer on your technology. We need to see if the logs, the syslog, are leaving or not. After, if it's leaving, let's see what kind of port, destination port they are sending to. Okay, let's go to my host, my workstation or my server hosting the SmartConnector, and so Wireshark. Let's see if the logs are coming, and then continue your troubleshooting until you fix the issue. So we are at this first step now. We need to see if the logs are leaving. So diagnostic sniffer bucket, any interface host, you can put host, and the destination should be the 192.168.5.10. 4 is the debugging level. So we can see here some ICMP. So there is no syslog. Let's see, confirm again if we have the log settings already applied. Yes, it's already applied. Going back 5 to 10, I cannot see any syslog. Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, I will break this. See this one? Yeah, it's here. Okay, but I now recognize what is the error. We are sending on 514 because the GI does not allow us to put the port, and you remember our port is 515. We choose this port because we suspected that we have another instance of the syslog daemon running 514, so we used 515. That's why we are sending on the wrong port. So how we change this? The subject matter expert for the FortiGate should help us. So I'll just give you a quick tips about this. If this is FortiGate related, just ignore or take a note of it. For myself, I have good notes for many of the technologies that I integrated before with ArcSight, because this helped me a lot to do the project faster, because if I just throw it to the subject matter experts of the technology, they they may be lazy, don't want to cooperate. If I lead and try to help, show him that I'm trying to help and give him the right commands or the right things to work to get the job done, they appreciate and they cooperate with me. So show full configuration, grep -F, the IP to get the section inside the configuration. Actually, this is the section. So I will just go to this one, and then I will change the port, set port 515, and let's see if things change. I'll pause the video and get back when things start to work. Okay, I'm back. So first log traffic coming from the 40 gate. As we can see, we can generate more logs. If I go to the Windows machine and try to search for something like micro focus oxide, some logs are coming, maybe more in the pipeline. Still some problems with DNS of this machine, but anyway, we are getting logs now from the 40 gate. So as you can see, yeah, started to get more logs. The log integration part is very important to work closely with the subject matter experts to get the logs quickly in ArcSight, because you still have jobs after that to validate the logs, to build use cases. So we want this phase to be done as efficient as possible. So thanks for watching. Now we have a base to build up. So the coming lessons, when we learn a new concept, we'll come to the console and play around these logs and comprehend the concept quickly. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.